Hello there, I'm Karen Yankovich, and this is Link Up Your Marketing, where we're doing daily marketing tips, ways that you can use LinkedIn to strengthen your marketing, to connect with your people, and really develop a really strong, powerful, and profitable LinkedIn network and LinkedIn strategy. We are live on Facebook in my Facebook group, which is KarenYankovich.com/Facebook group. We are live on YouTube and we are live on LinkedIn. I am just pulling up my LinkedIn profile so that I can see the live comments. So if you guys have any comments on any of those places, let me know. Hi, Perkin. Good to see you here. You can comment on any of those places and I can see your comments and hopefully respond to them. So we're talking about here today is LinkedIn recommendations. And I wanted to do this today. These videos are live. You know, it is April 2020. I live in New Jersey. We are still on social distancing restrictions here, stay at home rules, things like that. So, and it's getting a little old. It's getting a little old, at least it is in my world. And what it's what I'm struggling with a little bit is how to stay in the place of how to stay in a good mental mindset with my business, with my family, with my house, with my neighbors, with everything, right? And I know this is going to sound a little woo-woo, but if you know me at all, you know that I incorporate a lot of mindset work into the LinkedIn work that I'm doing. And this tip today is a little bit of both. It's going to help you with your mindset. It's also going to help you with your with some strategy. Emma, good to see you here. So what we're talking today is about LinkedIn recommendations. And I wanted to do this today because I will be, full disclosure, I woke up this morning like, oh my gosh, this sucks. I can't believe I'm here. Like just all this like negative chatter in my head. I was like, I got to shift this. Like, I got to shift this because I really want to have a good week. And it's also like a monsoon here in New Jersey today. So, there won't be any going outside today. There won't be any of that stuff. So, I wanted to shift it. And I thought, one of the ways that I know we can shift our mindset is by being grateful, right? By having an attitude of gratitude, right? So this is you guys are seeing the right brain, left brain thing going on here, right? So what better topic today than to talk about who you can give a LinkedIn recommendation to? And I've actually decided today, I just decided today, so you're not going to see a lot of this yet because I made this decision this morning that I am going to start writing one LinkedIn recommendation every single day while I am I'm not going to say cooped up, enjoying the home that I have worked so hard to build, right? So I'm going to start writing one LinkedIn recommendation today. Who am I grateful to? Whose support am I grateful for, right? And how can I, so that not only is it going to help that the people that I am grateful for, because there are so many people that I'm grateful for in my life and in my business. It also is hopefully going to help me shift the energy a little bit, right? In my head, shift, keep the mojo going. I talked a few days ago about LinkedIn, is a great intention, right? I don't actually who this is. That's because I just see Facebook user. But that's my intention, even if it's just Monday through Friday. It doesn't take that long. And it does so many things for me, right? Because the other thing is too, if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you see the LinkedIn recommendations I've written. So translate that to when people see your LinkedIn profile, they see the LinkedIn recommendations that you've written, right? So Stan, good to see you here. And it shows the world that you are in a place of give and receive, not just take, right? That you're also in a place where you want to give. So that was really why I decided I want to talk about LinkedIn recommendations today. And I'm going to show you a little bit about, I'm waiting for LinkedIn to come up on my other screen. I'm going to show you a little bit about how I use LinkedIn recommendations and just a little bit of how I structure them. And I started to write one for somebody that works for me. So she will these, I mean, listen, it's long overdue. So she will be surprised by it. Deirdre, good to see you here. She'll be a little bit surprised by it, but she also it's way overdue. I should have written this recommendation for her ages ago. So I feel like I can write a recommendation every day. It's keeping that good mojo going, right? Keeping the energy when you put out good stuff, kind of like what I'm doing with these videos, right? I want I want to support people through this, but let's get real. I have a mortgage to pay. I need my business to continue to thrive during these things. So I know that as I continue to put out, people continue to come in. And I feel like LinkedIn recommendations is another way that I can be doing that. Does that make sense? All right. So I'm just gonna pull up. I don't want you guys to have to sit and watch my slow computer pulling this up. So I'm going to pull up, once my profile's up and I get to the recommendations, I'll share my screen with you and show you a little bit how to do it. And here's what I will say to you. Feel free to, like I say about my profile, this is not, like, I do not consider the stuff that I do as like top secret. Model my profile, model the recommendations. I can tell you, and I'm not going to tell you who they are because that's a little bit too, I think that's a little too much, but there are people who I think are brilliant writers. I model their recommendations. I actually have a book that I bought ages ago on how to write a good testimonial for somebody, how to write a good recommendation for an employee, because I've had employees over the years where, you know, they've left, they've moved to different, you know, parts of the country or parts of the world, and I wanted to write them a LinkedIn recommendation, right? So, or an actual letter of reference, right? So I actually have done a lot work on this. So feel free to model the LinkedIn recommendations that you see on my profile and just insert the words that make sense for you. So does anybody have any questions on this? Well, Susan saying she loves the generosity. Yeah. Oh, Stan, I would love to be on your digital show when you reopen. I'm just actually pulling up. We had trouble with this the other day. I don't know why I didn't think to do this before I went live, considering we had trouble with this section appearing. It did appear, by the way, the other day. If you guys watched the one on LinkedIn doing endorsements, it did appear as soon as I stopped screen sharing. So I am going to hope that if I just sit here and wait, it will come up. So let's talk a little bit. I'll just talk you through this a little bit, and then when my screen comes up, I'll show it to you. What you want to do is you want to start with something strong. Start with something strong. You don't want to say, I've worked with Joe for 20 years. You want to say, Joe is a freaking rock star. Right? Like, you want to start with something that hooks people, that goes, wow, that's pretty cool, right? You want to make the very first sentence being something that is strong and powerful and really, you know, makes people smile, right? If you get a recommendation from somebody and it starts with, Joe is an absolute rock star, makes you smile, right? It makes the other people that read it smile as well. This is so crazy that this is not going to come up for me today. Good grief. All right, so I'm going to talk you through a little bit more. So you want to then talk a little bit about how you know them, how they've worked with you, what maybe a little bit about their skills, something that changed in your world as a result of them being a part of your world, and then finish it up by saying something like, you know, you will not regret it if you invest in hiring or working with this person. This is something that is so powerful for the people that you work with. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how you do this. When you pull up somebody's profile on LinkedIn, you're going to see, like, if I pull up you're going to, because a lot of times I get asked, how do I give someone a recommendation, right? Right under the about section, or right under the about section is a section where you see their activity. Let me just double check that this is true. You guys don't mind hanging with me this morning while I wait painfully for LinkedIn to come up. When you're looking at somebody's profile, I'm just going to pull up somebody's profile here. Actually, let me do it on my iPad because it's faster on my iPad here. Give me 1 second. I'm looking all over the place because I want to make sure I give you the exact right information. Okay, so when you're looking at somebody's profile, right underneath their headline, right, it says message, and then there's something that says more with 3 more dots. If you click that more, one of those things says recommend. Okay, you want to click the recommend button, and then it'll pop up an interface that allows you to do that. And one of the things it's going to say is select a relationship, and you're going to select whatever relationship. There's a lot of different choices, and some of them don't, like, you might have to like figure out what makes the most sense. Like in some cases it might say like you worked with this person but at different companies, right? So if it's somebody like maybe they gave you a freebie, that like maybe you just opted into somebody's email list and you had a PDF that was so good that you want to write them a LinkedIn recommendation about it. You worked with them at different companies, right? So there's you could say you worked with them in the same group or you reported. So there's a lot of different things you can do here. And then it says select their position at the time. And again, you might have to pick the one that makes the most sense. But what I would do is pick the one that you think will provide that person with the most value. Because when you provide somebody with a lot of value, that's what your goal is here, right? So don't write them a recommendation for a job that they're not doing anymore. Write them a recommendation for something that they're currently marketing and they're currently doing, because that's how you can continue to bring them value. So I'm not going to be able to show you how to do this because it's not coming up on my screen share screen, which is the craziest thing. Remind me, well, I will remind myself next time to make sure I have it up and looking at it before I go live on this. But I'm figuring this out as we go. I did a training the other day where one of my friends, Nicola Wilkes, was doing it. And one of the things she said was, what did she say? Something is, perfection is the profit killer or something like that. And that is so true. Perfection kills profit or something like that. So 100% that is true. These are definitely indication of that. So I'm going to write a recommendation today. I'm writing, Sandy, if you're listening, I'm going to write a recommendation for Sandy Van Duzen, who works for me. You can see the recommendation that I had the recommendation pre-written. I wanted to show you how to pop it in here, but it's not going to let me do that. So we're going to just, and maybe it's when I'm live on LinkedIn. Maybe LinkedIn won't show me that when I'm live on LinkedIn. That's an interesting thing. Anyway, I'll have to play with that a little bit more, because a lot of this stuff, is kind of, especially this LinkedIn Live stuff, it's kind of new, and LinkedIn is not really a fan of when you go live on LinkedIn and teach LinkedIn marketing. So hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, go to my LinkedIn profile. You can model any of the recommendations I've done. I'm going to pop one in there for Sandy this morning, and hopefully Sandy will see it, and you'll see it, and you'll see how it's structured, and you'll feel free to structure them like this. Don't be afraid to ask people for recommendations also, but remember that it's just getting the mojo going, okay? I wouldn't ask people for recommendations cold. I would ask them for recommendations if they've already said something nice about you. Maybe you can say, that sounds like a really great LinkedIn recommendation. So again, it's good mojo. It's good mojo at this crazy time in the world to be just sending out, like I said, sprinkling fairy dust by giving endorsements. This is just like a massive dose of fairy dust, and it just always comes back to you. So write LinkedIn recommendations, make it a habit. If nothing else, put on your calendar, write one a month, write one a week, right? Just get in the habit of being a recommendation giver. You will get more back as well. And that also positions your personal brand. It positions you as somebody that gives value, not just takes value. Make sense? All right, guys, stay safe, stay dry if you're here in the Northeast, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.